Hello and welcome to episode 1 of the Human Condition Podcast. I'm your host and American Council on Exercise personal trainer, Kiri Jones. This episode is going to be an introductory episode on what I'm about, why I started, what the Human Condition is and is about, and how the podcasts are going to sound and look going forward. So if you've visited the website already, you've seen the tab called What We're About. And on there, it lists very simply with a few short paragraphs, holistic fitness coaching, health and lifestyle coaching, and education-driven approaches. A lot of people get caught up in the amount of information that exists on the internet, and they tend to look at very narrow, very targeted things instead of looking at the whole picture, because it's important to look at your whole body and how it works together. It's important to include your environmental factors and the lifestyle choices that you make, because all of those things combined contribute to your total health and fitness. And it's education driven, because I feel like in order to make these sustainable changes in your life, you have to understand why you're doing what you're doing. It's one thing for a trainer to tell you not to drink soda, and you say, sure, I won't drink soda. But a lot of people fall into the pitfall if they don't understand why they don't want to drink soda or they shouldn't drink soda. It tends to become a crutch to really lean on what trainers are saying to you and what you can find on the internet. If I were to explain to you how soda affects your body and how it contributes towards your total health and fitness level, the next time you look at a soda, you might be more inclined not to drink it because you understand what it does to you. I feel like it's very important to educate people. Why I started personal training to begin with, or realistically why I got my personal trainer certification, was back in, late high school. So maybe starting in 2008, I started gaining weight, and it wasn't anything that I really had thought about or considered because my weight wasn't important. It wasn't a factor, really. You know, when you're a young adult, like, you spring back so easy. But in 2010, I tried to enlist in the National Guard. I went in to do my initial height and weight just to be able to join the military, because you think, oh, well, I'll lose the rest of it when I go to boot camp, basic training. However, they told me that I was too obese to enlist in the military, and that was a gut punch. It wasn't anything that I had ever thought about so hard that I'd even considered the fact that I had gained so much weight that there was things I couldn't do. So I ended up losing the weight. I joined. I broke my leg. I got booted. That's a whole other story. If you want to hear about that, just ask. After I got booted, I ended up gaining even more weight than I had before. And this was after having known better. I say known better than my already existing knowledge that at one point I was overweight. And one day I just looked at a picture of myself and I was floored. You could see that I was overweight. And not in it was in a very unhealthy way. I carried the weight in all the places that were indicative of this was a problem for my health. So fast forward some time, I had started doing all of this research. I thought now is the time that I'm gonna finally get in shape. And I looked at the internet and I was overwhelmed by everything. And I started following all the trends and the diets, and I started buying supplements because that's what looked like worked for other people. And I was spending hundreds of dollars a month on supplements. And it worked, but it worked too well. And I ended up swinging wildly in the wrong direction to the point that I was too skinny. And I was sickly. I didn't even think about it. I thought I was doing a good job until somebody had looked at me and they said, "You don't look well." And again, that was another hard truth to hear because I thought I was doing the right thing and I ended up doing the wrong thing on accident. So what I ended up doing was deciding I'm going to actually educate myself on what it means to be healthy and what fitness is about and how the body works and everything that goes into the health and fitness side of the holistic picture. So what that ended up being for me was to go through the American Council on Exercise and get my certification in personal training. And this was in 2018. I didn't use it and I wasn't intending on using it to get clients, to start making money. At the time, I had a full-time job. Actually, I think I had a few full-time jobs. But it wasn't the right time. It wasn't the right time for me to just make a leap. And I was so new that I feel like it wouldn't have even been fair to clients at that point for me to make that jump. And that's not to say that people didn't ask and I didn't give them information on the questions that they were asking or help guide them in the right direction. Like, obviously I would do that. It was just a matter of timing. I noticed in the past couple of months that all of the same pitfalls that I fell into, they still exist, and if not more so than when I started looking all those years ago. I mean, you're talking 2010 to 2024. That's 14 years for the internet to have become bigger. And I have this opinion of the health and fitness industry as it is now, that it is very predatory and is purposefully misleading to people because it has created itself into an image of the client needs me. And I think that's very unfair. That's not to say that there's not good coaches out there. I know that there are good coaches out there. I'm not ragging on everybody in the fitness industry. But if you're a good coach, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The supplement industry has made it very appealing for people to get supplements and to take supplements. It's kept stores going, it's kept brands going, and they do work. Some of them do work and they do what they're intended to do, but relying on them is a problem. And some coaches have made it so that way, if they provide you with everything that you need, you'll continue to go to them and keep paying for things. I have a hard time with an industry that has made it so that people cannot then go off on their own. I'm of the opinion that when you start training with a client or when you start helping somebody on their health and fitness journey, from the jump, you should be trying to work yourself out of a job. I know that doesn't make sense in terms of like money. I personally am not doing this for the money. I'm doing this for people, for education, to help somebody somewhere in the world make a change. But once I start training a client, I'm trying to give them all of the tools that they need so that one day they can take the training wheels off. They can look back at me and go, okay, I guess I don't need you anymore. And that's fine. That means that you're at a point where you feel healthy, where you feel confident enough that you can go off on your own. That's what I'm looking for in terms of what my goal is for the human condition. I want to be a positive change. Now, as a trainer, I don't build custom exercise plans. And what I mean by custom is like, I don't tell you, okay, on Monday you're doing arms, or Tuesday's cardio, or do this many sets and reps, blah, blah, blah. Because what that tends to do is to take the onus off of you to find what works for you. I will guide you. Obviously, I will guide you. I just want to make sure that you're engaging in physical activity that you enjoy, that you've created for yourself, so that way you have some internal motivation to keep going. I'm not going to take that from you. I'm going to help you. If you tell me you're going to do such and such a thing, and I feel like maybe that's not something you should do, of course I'm going to educate you. That's my job. But I've explained the concept of what it is that I'm trying to do to a friend who then told me that I sounded like a fitness therapist. I was like, I guess that, yeah, that makes sense. Another thing that it's not only that I won't do it, but I can't do it, is I will not build meal plans. I'm not going to create a diet for you because A, that is outside of a certified personal trainer's scope of practice. B, in some places it's actually illegal because it falls under the laws of nutrition and dietetics. And C, me telling you what to eat is not going to help you in the future. You creating a meal plan and being educated on how to make better choices for yourself in terms of nutrition is what, again, makes it a sustainable change. Because if I can explain to you why you should be eating a certain way or how to make these choices, you'll take that and you'll create what works for you. I can't create what works for you. I'm not you. So that is, just to reiterate, I don't do custom exercise plans, and I don't and cannot do custom meal plans. It's just not how it works. In terms of how this podcast is going to look and sound going forward, this is just an introductory episode. In the future, what I plan to do is the episodes will cover blog posts that I've put up on the website. It will cover articles from reputable sources in terms of health and fitness, discoveries, trends, etc. I'm going to follow social media trends. I'm not going to call out anybody that I find on social media because it's just not fair. I'm not going to attack somebody who cannot defend themselves. And also, they might not even know that what they're doing is incorrect. So we'll follow the trends. We'll see, I'll explain some truth behind what it is that's happening, and I'll give you, the real deal information from my perspective. My perspective, everybody's perspective is subjective. Don't come after me with pitchforks if I say something that you really, really disagree with. And then the ends of these, I'm hoping to have a sort of Q&A where in between episodes, I'll answer questions that are asked in the comments, that come through my email, that come through social media, because it's bound to be that somebody somewhere has the same exact question as you. So if I can answer it in a platform where I can get the information out there, then it'll probably benefit you and dozens, if not hundreds of other people. So that's the plan. This is going to be a big project for me specifically moving forward. So stay tuned for the next episode. I'm not sure what I'm going to cover yet. Still working on creating a schedule, but bear with me. I'm also brand new to podcasting and I have cheap equipment. So yeah, stay tuned.